What's truly devastating though? Like I'm thinking banana split. You know, like that will f you up.
Not against me, bro. That's just a good partner stretcher. It's just yoga to me, baby.
It's true.
Please, I enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. Q&A for BJJ. Now, if you have a question for us and you would like to get it to us on the show, go to the website, bulletproofforbjj.com, go to the podcast tab, scroll down. There is a red button and you can leave us a voicemail. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and get to your question and we will answer it for you.
Bam.
Who's first?
First one coming in from Fabrizio Cordero.
Oh, dang. I love that name.
Hey guys, Fabrício here from Brazil. First of all, thanks for the content. It's amazing. It's been really, really helpful. So yeah, thanks a lot. Let's go to the question. I'm 40 years old, 5.8 feet tall, 167 pounds, right? I'm a white belt, training for 9 months right now in a great Alliance gym in my city. And I train 4 or 5 days a week consistently, every week, right?
Nice.
And I'm having like a hard time trying to sweep heavier opponents. I'm talking about 200 pounds guys, 220 pounds, some of them even heavier. And when I row, and at this stage we just row against other white belts, usually I pull guard when I row. I like to be on guard. I like to train guard. It's my main goal right now to improve my guard. But against heavier opponents, like it's been really difficult to sweep them, and I would love to improve my sweeps, right? But the last few days, I was wondering if I should change my strategy against them. If I should try some takedowns to be on top once in a while, or if I should keep pulling guard to improve my guard against them. And yeah, what do you think? Cheers from Brazil.
Awesome.
What a legend.
Yeah, lovely.
Thanks, Fab.
Look, my take on this is two things that help me with my sweeping. First one was something Dan Cherubin told me, which was when you get your grips for a sweep, that's not enough. You can have your controls, but you need to have the person's weight. So if you don't actually have if you haven't broken their balance or their weight is not on you, you're not going to sweep. Even if you're like, oh, I've got everything organized, they should be getting swept right now. The control and the weight is the key. Because sometimes if you have their weight on you, but you don't have control, you also won't sweep them. Those are two key components. And the other second lesson on that was from Michael Lange, and he said this to me. He said, if you want to submit somebody, fake the sweep, you'll get the submission. If you want to sweep somebody, kind of threaten an attack, like threaten the submission, and then they will do something which will enable you to get a sweep. So it sounds a bit strange, but it's a little bit like misdirection with like magic. You're like, oh, look over here, do this. Often when you're early in jiu-jitsu, you just do the thing. You're like, I want the armbar, I go to the armbar, I do that, that's it. But actually to get the armbar, you have to usually get them to post or commit or something like that. My advice is, yeah, you should definitely learn takedowns, learn passing guard, do all that. But if you want to make your sweeps more effective, see if you can work out if maybe you're not bringing their weight onto you to be able to sweep them. And two, maybe you need to be a bit more threatening from your guard. If you have no threat of submission, there's no reason for them to want to do anything that's going to put them off balance. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's great. I agree. I think I look back to some of my sweep attempts, or all of my jiu-jitsu when I was earlier on was kind of like single dimension. It's like, oh, I've got the grips, I go for the technique. But often if the person knows what I'm trying to do, then they just shut it down.
It's blocky.
And it's like, that thing didn't work for me. Whereas I wasn't, if I were to weave that thing in with some other counter, or like you said, like making them think about the submission, then applying the sweep, whatever, now it starts to be more successful. I think one strategy I would employ beyond what JT said would be to, if you're finding that you're trying to get someone's weight onto you and you can't, and you're like, this isn't working, I would look to wrestle up.
Yeah.
And so, because you're the smaller guy, so when you're the smaller guy, you have the speed advantage generally. And this is something that Adam Childs always said. It's like when you're fighting someone that's bigger than you, training with someone bigger than you, you should be using your speed against them. And so the wrestle up is like trying to get the sweep. They're keeping their hips back. I can't get it. So then I just go this and I just come up. Yeah, and I'm looking to go for the single or just tap the knee and push them over, whatever it is. Hit the wrestle up. It works in really nicely with the sweep attempt.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share a secret with you. This is my secret little baggie. Oh, yeah. Sodi. So in this awesome little bag is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 210 milligrams of potassium, and 70 milligrams of magnesium. Now, the sodium in here is Australian lake salt. And the thing which a lot of people don't realize, now I'm going to mix it up right now. I do this every day, sometimes twice a day. Is they're not hydrated. And if you're thirsty after warm-up when you're at Jiu-Jitsu, you're not hydrated. So just drinking water is not good enough. I'm going to give that a little stir. I have 600 mils of water here. Some of you might like 500, depending on how salty you like it. And there's a good amount of salt here. Just drinking water, you're going to pass that. You're going to sweat that. Ooh, delicious. And the flavors are awesome. I really like this one. So for me, when I'm having this, 600 mils is the right amount. I really like it. It's not too strong, but I know that it's making a difference in me keeping the water where it needs to be, which is in my muscles, in my bloodstream. And if you want to roll better, staying hydrated is absolutely key. If you go to sodi.com.au, sodi.com.au, that's SODII, and use the code bulletproof15, you can get 15% off your order with Sodi. Stay hydrated, friends.
All right, next one.
Thanks, Fab.
Spaz Rocket 1.
Perfect.
Joey, JT, I've got 2 questions for you. What are your top 5 BJJ matches of all time? Looking for a bit of motivation while we're doing the mobility and the stretching. And secondly, what is the number 1 submission finish in your opinion?
Oh.
Shit.
My God.
Spaz Rocket. What a legend.
The man. We love you, Spaz Rocket. You're the man. And a great finish there. He was
top 5 matches.
channeling Joey there. I've got 5
Go
in my
on.
head.
Yeah.
Just pure jiu-jitsu. Definitely, you got to say Hodger Gracie versus Jacare back in the day where Jacare's arm gets broken. He stuffs it in his belt and jumps around. That was up there as number 1 for a long time. Marcus Buchecha versus Rodolfo. When Rodolfo was champ, it was a changing of the guards. It's listed on the internet as the greatest match of all time. I don't know about that. Like, Rodolfo risks for the biscuit. He goes to the armbar, he misses, and his coach chews him out for it. But yeah, it's an epic match. I think Leandro Lowe versus big crazy dude, bald guy. He takes him down. You know, it's a big takedown. He goes like for a double and boom, and he's like, yeah.
Urbeth?
Oh yeah, Urbeth Santos.
Yeah.
Leandro versus Urbeth Santos, pretty good. Like any Leandro Lowe match where he just pulls it out. Like for me, Leandro's just one of the greats. A pretty amazing match. Now this broke my heart, which is Rafa Mendes versus Cobrinha. He armbars Cobrinha at the Pan Ams. I was such a Cobrinha fan, and I didn't hate the Mendes brothers, but I was like, oh, I think they're so good, and Cobrinha's my guy. You know, I trained with him a bunch, and bro, he passed Cobrinha's guard and he arm locked the shit out of him. It was pretty amazing. And then, man, there's so many good matches, like ADCC matches, like
just 5, bro. You're at 4.
Gary Tonin versus Rusumir Falares. Like Toquinho.
Yeah.
Bro, Tonin almost heel hooks him. Tonin gets his back. He slams the fuck out of Gary Tonin.
Match.
Gary Tonin that's like, for me, it wasn't peak, but it was pretty up there.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I don't know. Oh, sorry. And also just Lachlan Giles' run at the ADCC, all those matches.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not a good reference point for this because I didn't watch any gi jiu-jitsu really. So some of those ones you mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch those. Thanks.
Right.
For me, it's a pretty weak attempt, but I really like Meta Morris, Eddie Bravo versus Hoyler Gracie.
Yeah, of course.
The
That's
rematch.
so famous, right?
Yeah, I fucking love that match. I think that's a great watch. I really liked from ADCC 2 years ago, Fabrizio Andre versus Victor Hugo.
Amazing match.
Yeah.
Amazing match.
And then probably anything with Mika Galvan or Fabrizio Andre. Like anything from the last few years, no gi from them.
So
or even
exciting.
gi is just exciting.
Yeah, and I guess that's the hard thing now. There's less of those iconic matchups of like, this guy's a champion, this guy's a champion, they face off.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, there's just so many matches now.
Yeah, and look, we won't go into it too hard, but like, for example, I thought one of the greatest matches of all time would be Gordon Ryan versus Buchecha. It was not. It was actually one of the most boring matches of all time, which was the final of the absolute of the ADCC in 2019.
I still liked it, but I guess it's because it's the final. And it's
Nothing
all that.
really happened, right?
Gordon was hitting that shoulder crunch.
He did the
sweep
shoulder
a bunch.
crunch, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And not much else happened. Whereas if you look at Gary Tonin did a flying scissors takedown into heel hook against Edwin Najmi, and you're like, whoa, what the
Anything Gary Tonin.
It's exciting times.
Anything Gary.
Oh, what did we say? The most devastating submission of all
the
time?
most devastating
I
sub.
think it's RNC, right?
Well, I mean, I guess he's like in our opinion.
I don't know, like...
Yeah, I mean, we know, right, statistically it's what, heel hook or rear naked choke based off ADCC.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the truth in that is it's a really primal thing. If you don't tap, you go unconscious. And it's pretty hard to
Trying to think what's
deny.
what's truly devastating though. Like I'm thinking banana split. You know, like that will f you up.
Not against me, bro. That's just a good partner strategy. This is yoga to me, baby.
It's true.
Please, I enjoy it. I think gi, no gi, RNC. I think the rear naked choke is just undeniable. That's what I'd say. I think if you can get someone's back and choke them, that's what you see. It's pretty high percentage.
Yeah,
now.
but they can get up and then they're not injured and don't have to go to hospital. I'm thinking devastating.
They
I'm
might
thinking
die,
like,
bro. You could kill someone. Like that's death. That when you choke someone
I mean,
unconscious, that's
yeah. If you held it for like an extra 2.5 minutes.
But you're just talking about
I'm talking like what someone up the. I'm thinking
the
that's
power
what,
bomb. We're
That's
talking
what
about
Spaz Rocket's like, bro. Give me the carnage.
Rampage Jackson slam against a closed triangle.
Ricardo Arona.
Ricardo Arona.
Go, the Brazilian Tiger.
Bruh.
All right. Third question coming. Thanks, Spaz Rocket. Legend.
Great. Shit. I'm excited.
Why's that?
We have an apparel sponsor, Parry Athletic. Such good gear, and it's incredible. I've been enjoying it.
Bro, George came through, messaged us on the Instagram, said he's been following our program for ages. He's getting stronger and more mobile. And he's got this cool gear company called Parry, and he wants to send us some stuff.
And he told me that his mission was to create the best pair of training shorts ever.
Yeah, he wanted something that he could lift and roll in, and that could accommodate thick, muscular thighs and hips.
And that suits us.
Speaks to us.
Also, what I like is I love the colorful design. It actually looks really cool.
I am the most colorful dude on the mats these days, hands down.
Yeah, you get that kind of expression feel. A lot of other jiu-jitsu gear is kind of a bit boring.
Yeah, it's
By
all like
comparison.
grays and blacks and shit. This stuff is the color and the vibrancy.
It makes you stand out. And I think the thing that I've loved about it is just it feels good. It feels good. It looks good. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can get a discount when you go to checkout. If you go to parryathletics.com, when you go to checkout, put in the code bulletproof20 and you get 20% off. Oh, yeah.
Stefan.
Gentlemen, love the podcast. I'll get straight to it. Last year, November, I entered a comp under 99 kilo division. I ended up getting bumped up to open weight and fought dudes about 20 to 25 kilos bigger than myself. I ended up injuring my back, so I've taken some time off the mats to do some body maintenance, and I'm about 75% at the moment. I already had some goals for 2024, 6 Jiu-Jitsu comps, a marathon in November, join a 1,000-pound club, and get 15 consecutive pull-ups. I'm 94 kilos and 6 foot. Prior to my injury, I had a 180 kilo deadlift, 110 kilo bench, and 100 kilo squat. I can do 5 pull-ups consecutively. My plan with Jiu-Jitsu was to focus on strength and conditioning and do 1 or 2 privates a month, go to a weekly open mat and do some running. My question to you, gentlemen, is how realistic do you think my goals are, and what do you think I should add or remove to maintain balance? I appreciate your feedback. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Keep up the great work. Cheers.
Stefan's hungry.
Whoa, bro, that's so much.
So we're saying 6 jiu-jitsu comps, run a marathon in November.
1,000-pound club, which is
1,000
just
pound
like
club. Is that like 400
SBD
kilos?
Yeah, but it's like, I think it's, I don't think that's for deadlift. I think he's talking across lifts.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was
3
listing-
combined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 15 consecutive pull-ups.
Yeah, look, it's okay. Speak to that. If you're healthy, like if you've recovered from your back injuries and you're full-blown healthy, I think you can tick all those boxes across 12 months, but I would not try and hit them simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. I would actually say it will be easier for you to focus on your strengths and work on your strength goals and your jiu-jitsu goals. And then once you've hit those numbers or whatever you've achieved, then move more towards the endurance and the longer running and stuff like that. Because I think being stronger and coming into the endurance work, you'll fare better than going the other way, spending 6 months doing a shit ton of running a marathon, and then trying to lift the weights. I actually think that will make your path harder.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man. I would actually reduce. I wouldn't aim for all those things. I don't want to limit you because you sound like a powerhouse and you're going for it and good on you. But I'd say strength goals first, kind of sprinkle in the comps as you go, and then I'd look to do the endurance stuff later. What do you reckon, Joey? It's big.
It's big. I would agree with that. I think like when it comes to setting goals, I guess, here's what we don't know is like, what's your intention behind each of those goals? And, it can be easy to go like, oh, I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to do that. Okay, cool. Let's make a list. And we've got 12 months. When in reality, it's like, well, why don't you just do 2 of those and then leave the other 2 for the next year?
Yeah.
I think JT's spot on with the strength first and then the endurance piece later. I think that like pull-up goals for me are always kind of, I don't get them because I think, and I know that a lot of people set them like, oh, I want to do 20 pull-ups, right? And the journey is the benefit, but I also think like physically, there's actually not a huge amount of benefit to just being able to add more pull-ups. Like you risk, especially, I'm guessing you're a thick individual, right? Like with all your squat, with your powerlifting
90
numbers.
kilos? No, like he's a relatively proportioned human.
Okay, yep, no, that's right. You did say. I'd be like, are you risking like elbow tendonitis, chasing all these pull-ups?
Possible.
So I just go like 1,000-pound club, 6 jiu-jitsu comps. And here's the deal. If you can achieve that in the first 7 months of the year, then sign up for a marathon in December.
5 months away. Yeah,
like you can do it. But I think that, often chasing a lot and then falling short on all of them is like, if you could just chase less and achieve 100%, that's mad.
It's the way. Yeah, I think people probably don't perceive that trying to do both at the same time, chase 2 hares, catch none. Like it's like when people say, yeah, I want to lose weight, but I want to get stronger. Those don't go together. They just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean you can't gain some strength as you get leaner, but every person who tries to get stronger ultimately will eat more calories to keep up with the demand of what it takes. So yeah, I don't want to limit you, brother, but I'd just say choose them, work on them individually over time and cumulatively over 12 months. You'll probably tick most of those boxes.
Yeah, like here's a thought. If you if you're planning on training at a reasonably high output like you are for let's just guess that you're in your mid-30s and you want to do this for another 2 decades.
Yeah.
Well, that's another 20 years where you can pick like 2 to 4 goals a year. So like let's just say you pick 2 goals. That's still like over the next 20 years, that's 40 goals.
Huge.
That's 40 awesome achievements.
Yeah.
So there's no rush
Yes,
in that way.
definitely.
Keep us updated though.
Yeah, stay on that path.
Good questions today.
Awesome.
Nice to hear from the Brazilian fam.
Yeah, it's cool.
Spaz Rocket coming in with a little bit of heat. I love that.
Yeah. So good.
Guys, if you got a question for us, go to the website, bulletproof4bjj.com, podcast tab, leave us a voicemail, and we'll feature you on the next episode. Thank you.
Much love.
Bus.